The glow of a laptop screen illuminates Sarah's face at the dinner table. Her fingers fly across the keyboard, email after email. The notification sound has become white noise. Her 7-year-old daughter, Emma, sits across from her, fork hovering over untouched pasta. "Mommy, guess what happened at school today?" Sarah's eyes never leave the screen. "That's nice, honey. But Mom, you don't even know what I... Another email sent." Emma's voice drops to a whisper. "Never mind." The typing continues, faster now, more urgent. Then, Emma pushes her plate away, the scrape of porcelain against wood. Sarah glances up for just a second. "Eat your dinner." Emma's eyes are glassy. "You don't even care." And before Sarah can respond, her daughter stands up and walks away. 7 years old, already learning that Mom's work is more important than her words. The apartment falls silent except for the clicking of keys. Sarah stares at the empty chair, at the cold pasta, at the reflection of herself in the darkened window. This was the moment she realized she was losing her daughter without even noticing. Sarah didn't start out like this. 6 years ago, she was different. Ambitious, yes. Driven, absolutely. But balanced. She'd landed her dream job at a tech startup in Seattle. Marketing director. 6-figure salary. Equity. The whole package. This was everything she'd worked for. Everything she'd sacrificed for. Especially after the divorce. Emma was barely 2 when Sarah's ex-husband, Marcus, decided that fatherhood wasn't his calling. He moved to Portland with his new girlfriend. Birthday cards came sporadically. Child support even less. Sarah became everything. Mother, father, provider, protector. And she wore that badge with fierce pride. "We don't need him, baby girl. Mommy's got this." But got this meant 60-hour weeks, 70, sometimes 80. It meant laptop screens at breakfast, conference calls during bath time, presentations on Saturday mornings. The nanny, Mrs. Rodriguez, became Emma's most consistent adult. The morning rush became a blur of granola bars and forgotten permission slips. Bedtime stories turned into, "Mommy has to finish this one thing, okay?" And somehow, without noticing, Sarah had become a ghost in her own home. Physically present, emotionally absent. She didn't mean to drift away. She was just drowning, quietly. And here's what makes this unbearable. She was doing it all for Emma, but Emma was the one paying the price. To understand Sarah, you have to go back further, to a childhood in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in Queens, to parents who worked triple shifts so she could have opportunities they never had. Her father drove a taxi 18 hours a day. Her mother cleaned office buildings at night. Young Sarah would wake up at 3 a.m. to the sound of her mother leaving, would fall asleep to the smell of her father's cigarette smoke as he calculated bills at the kitchen table. "Study hard," her mother would say. "Make something of yourself." Translation: "Don't end up like us." So Sarah studied. Scholarships to private school. Full ride to Columbia. MBA from Northwestern. She built herself into someone her parents could be proud of. Someone who would never struggle. Someone who would never be invisible. But here's what nobody tells you about climbing your way up from nothing. You learn that rest is a luxury you can't afford. You learn that saying no means losing ground. You learn that your value is measured by your output. And you learn that love, real, unconditional love, is rare and fragile and can disappear without warning. Like when her father died from a heart attack in his taxi when Sarah was 15. Like when her mother worked herself into an early grave just 5 years later. Like when Marcus left without looking back. So Sarah did what she knew how to do. She worked. She produced. She proved her worth. Over and over and over, until proving became more important than living. The warning signs were everywhere. Emma's teacher, Mrs. Patterson, sent an email 3 months ago. "Emma seems withdrawn lately. Is everything okay at home?" Sarah responded between meetings, "Everything is fine. She's just adjusting. Thanks for checking." Then came Emma's birthday party. Sarah had promised she'd leave work early, be there for cake, for presents, for the look on her face. But then the campaign launch got moved up. Crisis mode. All hands on deck. "I'll be there by 4 p.m., Sarah texted Mrs. Rodriguez. "Start without me if I'm late." She arrived at 6:30 p.m. The other kids were gone. Emma sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at an untouched slice of cake, crown askew on her head. "Happy birthday, baby! I'm so sorry the meeting ran over and—" "It's okay." Emma's voice was flat, rehearsed, the voice of a child who's learned not to expect anything. No, let's do presents. Come on, I got you something special." "I'm tired. Can I just go to bed?" Sarah stood there, shopping bag in hand, watching her 7-year-old daughter choose sleep over celebrating with her own mother. That should have been a wake-up call. But Sarah told herself it was just one day, one mistake. She'd make it up next time. Except there was always a next crisis, a next deadline, a next emergency. Emma's school play? Sarah watched the first 10 minutes before stepping out to take a call. Mother's Day? Spent in the office, finishing a pitch deck. Last week, Emma brought home a drawing from art class, a family portrait. There was Emma, there was Mrs. Rodriguez, there was even their cat, Mr. Whiskers. Sarah wasn't in it. When she asked why, Emma shrugged. "I drew the people I see." She was giving everything to her career, and her daughter was learning to live without her. Back to that Tuesday dinner. After Emma walked away, Sarah sat frozen at the table. She told herself to get up, to go after her daughter, to apologize. But another email came in, urgent, red exclamation point. Her boss, David. "Client presentation moved to tomorrow morning. Need the revised deck by 11 p.m. tonight. Can you handle it?" Sarah stared at her phone, at the hallway where Emma had disappeared, at the choice in front of her. Her fingers moved automatically. On it. She worked until 2 a.m., perfecting slides, adjusting copy, making everything flawless. When she finally closed her laptop, the apartment was dark and silent. She walked to Emma's room, opened the door quietly. Her daughter was asleep, curled up with her stuffed elephant, tear tracks still visible on her cheeks. Sarah sat on the edge of the bed, brushed hair from Emma's forehead, and noticed something on the nightstand. A card, homemade, construction paper and marker. She picked it up. The front had a drawing of 2 stick figures holding hands, one tall, one small, hearts floating between them. Inside, in Emma's careful second-grade handwriting, "Dear Mommy, I miss you even when you're here. Love, Emma." The card slipped from her hands. She sat there in the dark, watching her daughter sleep, and something inside her just shattered. For the first time, she saw what she had become through her daughter's eyes, and it was unbearable. Sarah didn't sleep that night. She sat on the couch in the dark, Emma's card in her hands, and let the truth wash over her. Her daughter was 7 years old. 7 years of life, and how many moments had Sarah actually been present for? The first steps? She'd been on a conference call. The first lost tooth? Mrs. Rodriguez had texted her a photo. The first time Emma read a whole book by herself, Sarah had been in San Francisco for a conference. She'd been so focused on building a life for Emma that she'd forgotten to build a life with Emma. All those hours, all those sacrifices, all that work, for what? A promotion? A bigger paycheck? Validation from people who'd replace her the moment she became less useful? She thought about her own childhood, about watching her parents work themselves to death, about promising herself she'd be different. And here she was, repeating the exact same pattern, just with a better job title. Her phone buzzed. An email from David. "Great work on the deck. Knew I could count on you." Count on her. But could Emma count on her? The answer made her sick. Sarah picked up her phone and opened her photos, scrolled back through months of images. Work events, team dinners, conference photos, screenshots of presentations. The next morning, Sarah woke up with a knot in her stomach. She had made a decision overnight, one that terrified her. She got Emma ready for school, fully present this time. "What do you want for breakfast, honey?" Pancakes? Pancakes it is. They cooked together, messy and imperfect, but full of connection. Emma talked about her science project, her friend Zoe, and wanting to learn piano. Sarah listened to every word. At drop-off, she hugged Emma a little longer. If you've ever felt torn between work and family, hit that like button and comment below, what small moment could you be present for today? At work, Sarah delivered a perfect presentation. Her boss, David, offered her an expanded role. Old Sarah would have said yes immediately, but new Sarah hesitated. She chose boundaries, leaving work on time at 5:47 p.m. Every instinct screamed to check her phone, but she ignored it, thinking of Emma's card. "I miss you even when you're here." The response from David? Respectful, supportive. No anger, no fallout. Sarah realized the only person demanding total sacrifice was herself. After-school routines shifted. She picked Emma up early. They cooked, did homework, bathed, and read stories, fully engaged. These small rituals brought immense healing. 3 weeks later, Sarah faced her biggest test. David expressed frustration over her declining after-hours work and gave the promotion to a younger colleague. Old Sarah would have panicked. New Sarah stood firm. Career boundaries over career obsession. 6 months later, life had changed. Sarah's work was more efficient. She still delivered excellent results. Emma was happier, more confident, chattier, and thriving at school. Mother-daughter dates became a weekly tradition. Sarah reconnected with her hobbies, friends, and self-care. A year after that pivotal dinner, Sarah was invited for an interview to share her story. She proudly showed Emma's construction paper card, the one that sparked her transformation. "I miss you even when you're here." She reflected. Her daughter only gets one childhood. She only gets one chance to be her mom. Presence mattered more than promotions, paychecks, or prestige. Have you ever chosen work over what truly matters? Comment below. What's one small change you can make today to show up for the people you love? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire real-life change.